for us to study in these last days, because everything we find in the book of Daniel, by the way, chapter 10 of the book of Revelation, that same chapter that describe the disappointment that our pioneers face, mentioned the book of Daniel. Remember that little book? Remember that little book that the angel told John to eat? Remember that? That was the little book of Daniel, which contain prophecies. Listen to what it says here in Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar the king, verse 1, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dua, in the province of Babylon. Then verse 2 described how he brought everybody on the plain of Dua. Verse 3 as well mentioned the same thing. After he set up the image, verse 4 says, then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. This is the same crisis that is upon us right now. It's the same crisis. They are coming together as one under one head. That is the Pope of Rome. Listen to what Spirit Prophecy tells us here. Volume 5 of the Testimonies, page 451. When Protestantism shall stretch her hand across the gulf to grasp the hand of the Roman power, when she shall reach over the abyss to clasp hands with spiritualism, that is the same as Roman power. When under the influence of this threefold union, that's Revelation 16, verse 13, our country shall repudiate every principle of its constitution as a Protestant and Republican government, and shall make provision for the propagation of papal falsehoods and delusions, then we may know that the time has come for the marvelous working of Satan, and that the end is near. You know what the marvelous working of Satan, we know what that time is? The foundation for that has been laid, and right now is being strengthened. You know what that is? It's when Satan shall come and personate Christ. He shall come as Christ, as an angel of light. Do you know the main agenda, what the main agenda will be? It will be over Sunday. Satan will point to the few who refuse to keep Sunday holy as the ones responsible for the calamities. But as Jesus mentioned in Matthew 24,
I don't think so. This is all on the right track, but just a little bit off. They're pointing at us as the ones who's bringing all this sin into the world. We're being accused of that.
They will blame us not just for climate change, so-called, which is a lie from the pit of hell, but they will blame us for the wars, for the pestilences, for all of those things. As they said,
these are sinless laws. I know it sounds crazy, but these are sinless laws that they're legislating through the 9/11 laws that's been legislated, and it's so crazy that how can I even explain it? You have to listen to Larry Wilson.
Other disciples, these men that have turned the world upside down have come here also. They will blame us for even their wives not getting pregnant. Because today, anything that happened is climate change. You know, if
they're blaming people, certain people in the population for everything that's failing in the world. I know that sounds crazy. For all the sin in the world, for God unleashing his wrath upon the world, all the earthquakes, all the storms, they're blaming it on certain people, and they're trying to get certain people. If you're gonna have to, they're trying to legislate morality. Like Like if you don't, they're trying to make you believe a certain way, which is evil.
You cannot. What's that? Yeah, I'll cover that. Yeah, you can be diagnosed with climate change today. Can you imagine? You can be diagnosed with climate change. If it gets too hot out there, and you're feeling hot, you go inside your house, you feel too hot. It's because of climate change. My sister back there is fanning herself right now. You know it's because of climate change, right? It's because of climate change. In Sunday Sacredness, he called for the persecution of those who deny the existence of climate change. That's what he called for. And what is Laudate Deum?
Praise be to God.
Okay. What does it mean? It means praise be to God. There's nothing about praising God in Laudate Deum. It's all about going after the climate change deniers. Like individuals, like myself, right? Let's continue. Notice, he is indeed showing himself that he is God. This says, Pope Francis, to address the UN Climate Conference in Dubai, consider what are the words? Common good and future of children. Francis will travel to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, December 1st through the 3rd, to address the UN Climate Conference and to help inaugurate the 5th Pavilion. Inaugurate the 5th Pavilion? Do you don't see what?
Watch the video I have on Larry Wilson, and you'll see. You just read that. There's a government. They're creating a government body that supersedes all nations.
Here, you don't see the plane of Dua one more time. You don't see also the death penalty that will come as they free.
A death penalty. You know what I'm saying? The death decree is out. You know, I mean. But certain people are protected by God during this time.
Revelation 16, 13, as they all come together, who will not join the beast? Who will be able to make war with the beast? That's what's coming. It says where religious leaders and organizations will meet to share information and strategies for convincing governments to take real steps to protect the environment. Those two words there, the common good. What is the common good? That's Sunday sacredness. They will come together to enact religious laws. They are combining their efforts. Revelation 17:13 again says, just like Spirit of Prophecy says, under one head, the whole world will come together. Revelation 17:13 says, these have one mind, and they shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Verse 14 says, after they combine their powers and strength and given and surrender that to the beast, verse 14 says, these shall make war with the Lamb. And the Lamb shall overcome them, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. They will make war with whom? With the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? Jesus Christ. But it is Jesus Christ in the form of his followers, as they come together as one. Notice what Spirit of Prophecy went on to tell us. Manuscript 52, 1886. The men of sin. Who is that? That is the Pope of Rome. Is Satan's agent. He sets his inventive powers to work, and Satan plans. Then the followers of Jesus must prepare for a life and death and what else? Struggle. The authority of the church combined. Now, the church there, that is the Roman Catholic Church, combined with the authorities of the nation, set themselves to work to cripple the conscience, to be themselves conscience for everybody. For anyone to differ and stand in opposition to these great men of the world in their religious faith and worship would raise endless questions, and they could not keep this light to themselves. The more they pondered the question, the more they saw was involved in turning from old traditions to the Word of God. But they must face the conflict. Harness for what? Battle. There will not be any such thing as rapture. before the great tribulation, so to speak, before the so-called 7 years of tribulation. The church must go through it. We must go through the storm. The same way Christ went through the crisis, the church must go through the crisis. One more time, it says, the more they pondered the question, the more they saw was involved in turning from the old traditions to the Word of God, but they must face the conflict, harness for battle, rise above human littleness, and not have thoughts of self-preservation